look at your life for a moment. To the outside world, you are the example of a woman who has all together. Intelligent, functional, self-aware. You meditate, you study, you lead, and you solve everyone else's problems. But in the silence of your own room, when the lights go out, there is a collapse that nobody else sees. You feel a weight that gratitude doesn't fix, an exhaustion that rest doesn't resolve. That familiar burning in your stomach every time you need to say no, and especially that wave of anxiety when you need to hold your ground, to say what you want to actually think, when the person in front of you disagrees. You know exactly what you should do. You know what you want to do, but your body seems to freeze. The good girl takes over and you go back to adapting, to smoothing things over, to being useful in order to keep the peace, to placing someone else's vision and will above your own. Your awareness is enormous, but your life is still dictated by the fear of disappointing others. So understand this. Your problem is not a lack of technique, it's a lack of common sense. It's an architectural error in your identity. You know, that tension in your jaw or the tightness in your chest when you think about prioritizing your own agenda, for example, that isn't stress. That's your survival memory warning you that you are about to step out of the hole of the good woman. And for your system, that feels dangerous. If you anticipate people's needs to avoid conflict, if you feel guilty investing on your own pleasure or rest, if your prosperity seems to hit an invisible ceiling again and again and again, understand this. There is a structural misalignment. Probably you were trained to maintain harmony around you, while your own internal truth should be smooth, hidden. But the cost of holding the world together has now become the collapse of your own life. So probably you have already walked a long path. You have cleared beliefs, you have revisited your traumas, you have tried to shift your mindsets to do reprogramming things for your mind, but the change still doesn't sustain itself in your body. It's because your body still seems to be in charge, because the personal development market tries to fix you in 3 places that never touch the root. First, behavior. Coaches teach you how to set boundaries as if there were a script to memorize. Such simple. They doesn't see that your body is collapsing. Second, mindset. They tell you to change your thinking as if you didn't already understand the theory. Third, endless healing. They make you dig through your past, searching for a reason, as if understanding the cause were the same thing as reorganizing your structure. No one of these approaches changed the invisible architecture that organizes your life. You are trying to live in the freedom of your soul while your cells are still operating inside the template of servitude. And that becomes just another sophisticated way of abandoning yourself. There is something that human like you rarely say out loud. It's not that you don't know how to say no. You do know. What actually happens is much more subtle. You start thinking about your response, and immediately your mind begins editing it. You think like, I know, I don't agree with that what the person is saying, but maybe it's better to give my opinion away in order to avoid conflict. Or maybe you think, if I say what I really think, I might disappoint someone. I don't want to seem difficult. I want to be loved and accepted for everybody. So you do something that appears small. You soften your words, you over-explain, you justify your decision, or you simply accept something that you didn't actually want. In that moment, it looks like you are choosing kindness. But a few hours later, your body tells a different story. Your jaw tightens. You have a headache. Your mind replays the conversation over and over and over again. You think about what you should have said, and you realize something uncomfortable. You know exactly who you were in that moment, but you couldn't sustain that version of yourself in front of another person. You find yourself saying and doing things you didn't even want. And deep down, you know that you are abandoning yourself. Many brilliant, intelligent women become confused here. Because they think, well, I already understand my patterns. I have done a lot of therapies. I've studied a lot of self-awareness. I have meditated. I still meditate. I put my consciousness in front of my mind to lead my life. And yet, this pattern keeps happening. It's not because you don't know, but because there is an entire identity organized around maintaining peace in the environment. And it is a survival mode that is in your cells, in your brain, in your nervous systems. The woman who has always been the easy one. That identity takes control before you even noticed. And this is exactly where my work with identity engineering begins. So, I will show something. I am Gianni, by the way, I live in Brazil. I will show you a kind of thing that is just for you to see the picture and try to make a link. That to stop abandoning yourself, we need to look at the hierarchy of your internal structure. So, this pyramid, at the base, you have your nervous system. If your body interprets boundaries as a risk of losing love, approval, or belonging, no communication technique will work. Your body will always put you back in the adaptation. In the middle of the pyramid is the identity that organizes your behavior. Here, there is a very clear division. On one side is the adaptive identity, the explainer, the mediator, the rescuer, the woman who keeps the environment stable. This identity lives in constant vigilance. It monitors people's moods, measures every word, anticipates conflicts, and pays a huge biological price to maintain its dysfunction. On the other side is the outer identity, the woman who does not live to regulate everyone else's emotional field. She does not automatically react to discomfort. She sustains presence. She can feel activation in her body and still remain faithful to what's true for her. At the top of the pyramid are the things that most people do try to fix first. The prosperity, the balanced relationships, the health, the leadership, the expansion, everything that you desire. But those things in the top are not the cause. They are the effect. If the base of the pyramid is in survival mode and the identity is organized around adaptation, the top will always collapse. So in identity engineering, we don't start at the top. We start where the pattern is actually born. The work happens in 3 very specific moments. First, we identify the adaptive identity that takes control in critical moments. That fraction of second when you know what you want to say, but your body chooses to please instead. Second, we work on interrupting the mental narrative and the automatic response before it turns into behavior. Because the pattern doesn't start when you speak, it starts before that, in the thought that tries to justify, soften, or over-explain. Third, we train your nervous systems to sustain presence without interpreting boundaries as dangerous. So this means learning how to tolerate the silence of a boundary, the momentary tension, the discomfort of not fixing everything. This place is what I call 0 point, or maybe the void. 0 point is when the activation rises in your body, but it no longer hijacks your decisions. It's when you no longer need to draft a response for 2 days, for example. It's when you say a simple no and your body remains at peace. This is not communication technique. This is a structural reorganization of identity. Identity engineering is a deep intervention. We are not going to talk about your problems. We are going to reorganize the structure that allows those problems to exist. So this work is not a course. It's not a set of motivational tools. It's not a sprint that you can do by yourself. It's a structured intervention. For 12 weeks, we work directly on the moments where your identity still moves into automatic adaptation. This process begins with a deep structural diagnosis. I observe how your people-pleasing pattern appears in your life, in your decision, in your relations. And then we set a program around your life, your way of being, your pattern. So if you like my English, I'm not native in English, but I can speak and I am available to do this work in English too. I am now in a moment that I am finding 3 women that are available and want deeply to change their lives and come to do this approach with me. If you find that this might be useful, but especially if you are a very conscious woman that works with meditation, that knows your patterns, and needs something else to really change your mind, come to a mentoring with me. You can ask to talk to me through my social media, and we are happy to have you with us. See you.